Alrighty, what's going on, family and friends? It's day 2 at the XRP Las Vegas conference, the largest XRP conference in the world. And I've got the man with the largest hat in the conference. We've got Boone Bergsma, the founder and CEO of Web3 Industries. How you doing today, Boone?
Excited to come out, and we announced that on the 28th of this month, we actually tokenized the equity in Web3 Industries. So both of our common and preferred shares are now on mainnet XRP Ledger, and we're going to be preparing to distribute those to the founding team and the early investors. Tokenizing shares, I mean, we've heard it, Larry Fink himself said all equities are going to be tokenized, right? So really, we're at the forefront of this, and we're positioning ourselves to be able to offer our tokenized equity on some of these licensed alternative trading systems, right? Also, so I think that you're going to start to see opportunities for tokenized equities in secondary markets that maybe you're not going to get through a solution like Carta. I like Carta, by the way. I just like our solution better. Yeah, no. We've created a really cool solution. Again, it's an e-signature solution. It's about, again, proving liveness. We want to know a real person is signing on this thing, but that signature, again, as you mentioned, is tokenized as an NFT on the XRP Ledger and stored in that property's account to, again, create that documentation. Yes, this person signed the agreement. They're part of the LLC, right? And so this is a way that DREE is literally using this technology compliantly in the United States.
Tokenized equity on the XRP Ledger? Yeah, it's already happening. Meet Boone Bergsma, the man at the helm of Web3 Industries and W3 SaaS, bringing cap tables, shareholder voting, and real-world assets fully on-chain. From fractional real estate to instant settlement to even collaborating with me on the AI DLT forum and tokenizing my real-world media, Boone is a great guy who's redefining ownership as we know it. This isn't theory, this is live infrastructure. You need to be in the room where it happens. Secure your ticket for XRP Las Vegas 2026, April 30th and May 1st. Scan the QR code now. Thanks for tuning in. Love you mucho. Alrighty, what's going on, family and friends? It's day 2 at the XRP Las Vegas conference, the largest XRP conference in the world. And I've got the man with the largest hat in the conference. We've got Boone Bergsma, the founder and CEO of Web3 Industries. How you doing today, Boone?
I'm doing well. I'm blessed. Thank you. Thankful to be here.
I'm thankful to be standing right next to you, especially when you just came up off stage sharing all of your endeavors, which even includes my brand. Let's talk about what you were discussing up on stage, sir.
Yeah, I'm excited to come out, and we announced that on the 28th of this month, we actually tokenized the equity in Web3 Industries. So both of our common and preferred shares are now on mainnet XRP Ledger, and we're going to be preparing to distribute those to the founding team and the early investors, and then also really out here to feature some of the customers and applications and clients that are using our platform, W3 SaaS. So one of those that I mentioned during the presentation today is a company called Decentralized Real Estate, also known as DREE, and they're using our tokenization engine to do fractional ownership of real estate.
Wonderful. I've been watching Brandon answer so many questions from interested attendees about the possibilities of fractionalizing real estate. Before we double click on fractionalized real estate, let's go back to tokenizing the equity of your company. How revolutionary is this? Who else is doing this?
Yeah, I wouldn't say we're the first at doing it, but what we have developed with our platform, W3 SaaS Technologies, is actually some people might be familiar with a platform called Carta, and it's a solution where you can manage equity and shares in companies. It's not a tokenized solution, right? We've built a Carta-like cap table management and shareholder governance platform on the XRP Ledger. So what's really revolutionary about this is that our founding team and investors, right, they actually get a segregated wallet on XRP Ledger that is holding their shares tokens, and they're able to use those that account and those tokens to vote on amendments in the company in a very transparent and trustworthy manner.
So just basically taking the construct of the cap table management that we know today, but moving it on a more sound and seamless, technologically based infrastructure that's underpinned by blockchain. So you mentioned Carta. They are a cap table management platform. What differentiates, you mentioned they're not tokenizing their assets. So the benefit of tokenizing their assets and having them in a wallet, like you mentioned, what type of possibilities are enabled because of this type of paradigm.
Yeah, absolutely. So I would say that two things really are important to think about. So when you tokenize your, when you do your equity on something like Carta, right? That is in Carta's server. One server, you are trusting all your information and to be safe and stored forever there, right? And immutable. And the difference again between doing that between Carta and XRP Ledger is that you don't have to trust our servers are serving your information. It's recorded on a distributed ledger technology, and that information is replicated across multiple different node operators who are independent of each other, right? And so it's really, it just ensures the reliability of the information and ensures its permanence. And then one other thing to answer the second part of your question is what it also is going to do. Tokenizing shares, I mean, we've heard it, Larry Fink himself said all equities are going to be tokenized, right? So really, we're at the forefront of this, and we're positioning ourselves to be able to offer our tokenized equity on some of these licensed alternative trading systems, right? Also, so I think that you're going to start to see opportunities for tokenized equities in secondary markets that maybe you're not going to get through a solution like Carta. I like Carta, by the way. I just like our solution better.
Yeah, no, I like Carta as well. It's a very intuitive platform that I've actually been able to use relatively recently when exercising my link to private equities, who we heard the CEO, Dan Siciliano, speak on stage today. But what I thought in that process, which maybe you can even explain a little bit better, that process was still manual, where I had to send money into an escrow account, and then I had to wait a certain amount of days for it to say that it was received, and then it has to be reviewed by the stock administrator, and then I have to have those shares distributed, even though my money's already been in this escrow account, and I'm having to remind that third party, hey, you have my money, where are my shares now? Is all of that maybe gone at the waistline when things are tokenized?
To some extent. I mean, if you're still receiving an off-chain transaction to settle these assets, there'll probably be some type of human intervention. And if the guy's on top of things, he might get it done right away. But if he's on vacation, things might take longer.
Yeah.
So, but the beauty about having this on being in this way is if you do choose to use things like stablecoin or on-chain payment solutions, these things can settle instantaneously, and the infrastructure in the back end of the system can actually handle all the settlement of these processes. And as long as it sees that your payment's cleared on chain, it can finish the transaction without a human intervention.
Let's shift gears now. Let's talk about fractionalized real estate. And I know that your time is limited because you need to go back to your booth here. I see a whole bunch of people wanting to learn more about Web3 industries. What type of opportunities are we discussing with fractionalized real estate, and what gets you most excited about it?
I think something that has become really apparent to me during this conference that I really wasn't thinking about so much with these guys and their DREE platform that we helped them launch is originally, I kind of just saw this as a place that people can come and get buy ownership in these different properties and have a diversified portfolio of different residential things. What I also started to learn during this conference, just talking to people, is there's a lot of families who have shared interest in properties, and because of family dynamics, they actually have a lot of problems managing the governance and shareholders and things like that. And I had several people tell me how cool and excited they were about the idea of being able to use DREE to fractionalize the ownership, to just be able to make the governance process a less complicated manner, And so I think what's really cool about DREE is you can own no real estate and come in there and buy one token for really as low as like $20 and become an owner of a rental property. Or if you already own properties and you want to start having a better way of managing that with your partners or your family, or if you just want to get some liquidity out of a partner that a property that you have and sell some of the interest in that.
Yeah. You're talking to somebody who purchased one token on the DREE platform right here, Boone. So, and that process was seamless. I even signed some documentation, which then even became an NFT on the ledger. Do you mind talking about the importance of that transaction?
Yeah, absolutely. So one of the key things to keep in mind is that, again, like there's not a lot of regulations in the United States, but Wyoming was one of the most pro-crypto regulated, regulations type states in the whole United States. And they actually have a Wyoming DAO LLC. And what's really unique and cool about what DREE is doing is every single property that comes on the platform is its own Wyoming DAO LLC. And then you as a token holder, you have to actually, again, sign an operating agreement to become part of this LLC, right? Because as soon as you buy the token, you also are presented a survey about how you want this property to be managed, right? And that's really important to that you're involved in the management of the property. But back to what you're talking about, this signing of the operating agreement, we've created a really cool solution. Again, it's an e-signature solution. And it's about, again, proving liveness. We want to know a real person is signing on this thing, but that signature, again, as you mentioned, is tokenized as an NFT on the XRP Ledger and stored in that property's account to, again, create that documentation. Yes, this person signed the agreement. They're part of the LLC, right? And so this is a way that DREE is literally using this technology compliantly in the United States.
So because of this process, does this eliminate the need for someone like a notarizer?
It potentially could in some ways, but depending on the use case, again, I would say there's still about being notary involved, but this solution could again evolve to a point where the notaries that are integrated with the solution could just immediately receive, notification that this person had done this thing, and they do some type of verification and even do like a third-party verification on chain. But depending on your use case, if a notary is required, you probably still need them to verify this on-chain signature.
Okay. Well, there are some of these virtual notary systems. It would be great to just have them baked in as part of your community or platform.
Absolutely, that's a very good idea.
Yeah. I'm here for that. That's going to be 2% of Web3 Industries. All right, hey, before I let you go, how can those in the audience learn more about Web3 Industries and follow you as a leader in the space?
Yeah, I'd say you can go to web3industries.ai, and then also if you're interested in our technology tokenization solution, you can go to W3SaaS.com.
I'll also copy those links in the description and comments below. Boone, love you mucho. Can't wait to see you in Singapore next.
See you in Singapore, Ray.
Excellent.
Appreciate you, brother.
Love you mucho.